My boy's holding forth as I give him a lift to work this morning, just now, this moment. And he's telling me some particular fiction video that, it's about refugees that, half the goodies in a certain society get killed, and refugees are invited in to build the property and provide the workforce that's died, and they're valued greatly, and then the people that were died are all brought back to life, and suddenly we don't want the refugees there, do we? And what do we do about them? And there's this tension in the society. But that's not the point. The story's fascinating, but the point is my boy is enjoying sharing with Dad something that's of value to him. It's a fiction, but it's given him a value, you see. Same as Christianity, it may be a fiction, but it's giving a value to us. He's sharing it with me, and I'm finding it fascinating because of the implications of the ideas it's raising. You know, the terrorists, are they, and so forth. Or is it just our convenient way of labeling people so that we can get rid of them, because they're an aggro to us? And you might think, well, that's pretty trivial, but somehow it's dressed in a form, and he's enjoying telling, and I'm enjoying listening, and we're two equals relating, and he stepped into that, my son. He is communicating on a par with Dad. It's not just that Dad's got it all, and he's the Christianity, and Dad feels he's got the right answers, and I'm the one on the outside from his point of view. No, Dad is relating and valuing something of me. Taryn's my son's name. So I'm valuing something of Taryn, and I really am. I'm into it, and I'm finding it enjoyable, and the interaction between us is good, and he knows it's good. He's become an adult in his own right, and that's just lovely, isn't it? And if I find that lovely, that he has become an adult in his own right, not the same as me, not a clone, not even the same values, but in some sense, a full person that I can relate to and value as a full individual in his own completeness. And he can accept me more now, in that, yes, I am not something dominant that has to be obeyed. I don't mean I was ever like that to him, goodness, I hope not, but but in some sense he may have taken it as that because of the imbalance in capability and communicative skills, child to adult and so on. But now he is a full, and this is the completeness I wanted him to come to. It's not the same as me, and certainly I would like him to be rescued from certain values I think he has that may be a real trouble to him, and he feels the same to me, remember. He sees some of this, most of this religion as not ideal. It's going to cause Dad troubles. I mean, he needs to be rescued, Dad, from this delusion, because it's going to cost him trouble, as he sees it. And remember, he may be right. He may be more right than Dad. Now, it's not too likely. There's a possibility. The probability is not equal across the two people as to who's right, if you like, and who's wrong. And we're not even clear as that dimension is entirely understood. But it is likely, in a sense, that wisdom's on the side of Dad still. And we know that, but that doesn't mean to say the son can't contribute wonderfully and be so valued. And we're valued in our completeness. A lovely family. Potentially, do you see? And I'm going to so miss that, because in a couple of weeks he's going to move to Taranaki, which is a long way away. It's 3 or 4 hours away driving. And you may say, well, don't drive, go by plane. But whatever. There's going to be a distance between us. And at the same time, thank you, Father, that you bridged the gap. These 4 years have finally culminated in this fulfillment of what the relationship between father and son should be, that they're in a sense so right in relation to each other, adult to adult. And I mean, ideally, of course, you want the harmonious and ongoing in-family fellowship interaction. I mean, you should be living close as one happy family, you know what I mean? Perhaps technology, in a sense, helps that if we use it rightly. You know, I mean, I should phone my other son up far more often, shouldn't I? Oh gosh, I mean, it's madness not to. Why doesn't one do it? Something to do with the... If you're physically in proximity to a person, you don't need to attend to constant interaction with them, you have it. Whereas if you're not in physical proximity with, then you have to initiate it or set up procedures that guarantee it. And once those procedures are broken, there's not necessarily a procedure that redresses that lack of procedure, if you see what I mean, and puts it right and makes the contact again. And you need that as well. You need to build it into your technology, into your use of your astonishing technology. Technology is neutral in a sense. It has potential hazards and potential gains. The potential gains, some of them are recognized, and that's why you've got the technology. That's, you know, we make phones because it's going to be wonderful to communicate things that need to be communicated. There are spin-offs, like things that are communicated now that shouldn't be communicated and weren't going to be communicated before, that are quite troublesome and dangerous and trouble, you know. So there's all sorts of hazards that crop up in that way. And our technology changes so fast, it's not clear we can keep up with knowing how to use our technology well enough before we plunge into the next one. So we have to find safeguards to cope with the rate of change of technology, not just the new technologies, but safeguards that we handle the rate of change optimally. That we, you know, the rate of change is good too. I mean, fast is better than slower sort of thing, but not if it doesn't leave us time to use it, and should I say use it enough to make it worth the change, worth the disruption, worth the loss of the old. Something like that. Let me pause there. I'm also practicing, you see, on whether I realise when I'm dictating and I've got the phone just tucked in near the gear stick there, that it's getting a lot of engine noise, and so I put it on the seat just now to see if that would be better. So that'll be interesting. Thank you, Heavenly Father. Amen. Thank you, Heavenly Father. I've made a break here in what I was recording, and it blends into the next recording, which is B. Perhaps you might like to go to that. Thank you, Dad.